Good morning students. Today we will be starting with our new subject of drugstore and business management. It is a completely different subject from the rest of the 5 subjects in the second year, as it deals purely with the management aspects of pharmacy. So first of all, let us understand the definition of the subject. What is drugstore and business management? First of all, what is a drugstore? See, here is an image of drugstore. Whenever we hear a name of drugstore, the common perception comes with retail pharmacy store, a retail pharmacy. That is just an aspect of drugstore. Drugstore also deals with the wholesale pharmacies and management of production houses. The subject is divided into 2 parts. Part A shall comprise the topics of pharmaceutical management, forms of business organization or forms of business houses, channels of distribution, sales promotion, drug house management, banking and finance, or the aspects of banking only, and regarding the recruitment, training, evaluation and compensation of pharmacists. These will be dealing with the subject of pharmacist. The B part shall consist of the accountancy. As mentioned in the image, it will be dealing with accounts or accounting, basic principles of accounting. Then some of the books of accounting, that are ledger, journal, cash book. It will also highlight the areas of balance sheet, trial balance, and various sources of finance. So these are some of the broad aspects of drug store and business management. So first of all, we shall start with our first chapter, that is the introductory part of trade and commerce. So let us first understand the concept of trade. What is trade? Trade means buying, selling and exchange of goods or services for money or money's worth. It may also be described as nucleus of commercial activity. How it is a nucleus of commercial activity? Because all the activities related to commerce revolve around trade only. They revolve around trade only. Now, what are various types of activities that revolve around trade? Such as transport, finance, any other example? You may also thought transport, finance, and economy on broader aspect, economy. They all revolve around trade and many more. Now, what is commerce? Commerce is the aspect of business activity which is concerned with distribution of goods only by the industry. It is only concerned with the distribution of goods and services produced by industry. Commerce serves as a valuable link between the producer and consumer. Producer and consumer. Commerce acts as a link between producer and consumer. Now see the classification of trade. Here is a flow chart that is depicting the classification of trade. Trade is broadly classified into two categories: international trade and domestic trade. Among the domestic trade, there are two types: wholesale and retail. And in case of international trade, they are of three types: import, export and entreport. So let's revise it again. Trade is classified into two parts: domestic and international. Domestic trade is of two types: either it is of retail or it is of wholesale. Whereas international trade is of three types: one is import, another one is export, and a third type that only a few of you will be knowing, or many of you must have heard it first time, that is interport trade. We shall be discussing them one by one now. What is internal or domestic trade? See, internal or domestic. Domestic means within the country, boundaries of the country. It is also known as a home trade and consists of sales and exchange of goods within the boundaries of country. It only occurs in the boundaries of country. It may be of local type, state type or interstate type. Local means, let us consider the example of our own state, Punjab. Local trade means the trade occurring in the district boundaries of our own district, Jalandhar. What is state trade? That occurs between the districts. For example, some of the goods are transferred from Jalandhar to Amritsar or from Jalandhar to Patiala or any other district. And interstate trade, it means that trade occurring between state of Punjab, Himachal, Haryana and many more. There are total 28 states, so the trade can be occurring between anyone. Internal trade is further classified of two types: either wholesale or retail. What is wholesale trade? Wholesalers buy goods in large quantities. They always buy in bulk. These are all bulk goods directly from the manufacturers and sell them in smaller quantities to retailers who are in direct contact with consumers. Whereas retail trade deals with the distribution of small quantities to the consumer, and it is also known as retail trade. What is international or foreign trade? Just see the image. The money is revolving around the globe. It means it is of international value. The globalized format of trade. When the goods or services are exchanged between two or more than two countries, then it is known as foreign trade, such as trade occurring between India and US, India and France, and many other examples. Foreign trade may be classified into three types: import, export and entreport trade. Now we will discuss in detail about these. What is an import trade? Let us consider an example. This is our country. I am not drawing the map, it's just an illustration. This is our country, India. Somewhere here lies UK, here lies USA, here lies Russia, just for depiction. What is import? When we purchase goods from other countries, such as from UK we are purchasing, it is a type of import trade. What is export? When the goods of one country are sold to other countries, it is known as export trade. For example, we are selling goods to Russia. Just see this. The goods are going from India to Russia. This is export trade. Then what is interport trade? What is interport trade? Interport trade is also known as re-export. See here, re-export trade. It involves the import of foreign goods of one country with the idea of exporting the same to the other countries and making the profits in the process. For example, goods are being supplied from USA to UK but through India. See, goods are first coming from USA to India, then from India they are going back to UK. India is serving as a purpose of interport trade or re-exporting. Interport. The goods neither belong to this country nor they bear any responsibility. They are just providing a platform for redistribution of goods. Just act as a platform for redistribution of goods. Now, what are the various functions of commerce or aids to the trade or branches of commerce? The number one is transport. Number two is warehousing. Number three is banking. Number four is insurance. Number five is packaging, and number six is advertising and publicity. These all help to flourish the trade activities that help to flourish the trade. Now let us discuss them one by one. What is transport? Transport is very essential for distribution of goods. Without transport, the goods cannot be distributed from one place to other. So it removes the hindrance of place. It is the process of carrying the goods and persons from one place to another. It assists trade by moving the goods from place of its production to locations where they are to be sold for consumption. From production to the consumption. See, the goods go from the location of production to the consumption. A well-knit transport system plays a very important role in economic development, social welfare, and political integration of any country. There are various modes of transport available, such as road, railways, air, water, pipeline. These are the various modes of transportation, and we shall all read them in context of the drugs and pharmaceutical products. Never forget your basic purpose. We are reading or understanding the concept in relation to the goods related with drugs and pharmaceuticals. Out of all these modes, transport and railways are considered to be the effective means. Why? Because they are cheaper for transfer of bulky goods. The goods are safer in road transport since they are carried in covered wagons. Since the railways are government controlled, so the freights are less. Transportation charges are less, they are very cheap. What is warehousing? Just see the picture. The warehouse is simple, a storage place. We all have a storage place in our house. Just make it bigger 100 times. That is a warehouse. What is storage? Storage is a process of keeping, holding and preserving the goods which are to be used in later stages. The goods to be used in later stages. These just act as a process of keeping, holding and preserving the goods. When this process done at large scale and in specialized manner, it is termed as warehousing. Storage on large scale is known as warehousing. Warehousing removes hindrance of time. Remember, transport removes the hindrance of what? Transport removes the hindrance of places. See, there are various kinds of hindrance. See here, the transport removes the hindrance of place, whereas storage is a process. Storage removes the hindrance of time. Warehouses are the places where goods are stored. Storage facilities are provided by three types of warehouses. Number one, private, owned by private houses. Then public, owned or operated by the government, and bonded warehouses. These are licensed warehouses to accept imported goods for storage until the payment of custom duties are made. These are always situated at ports. They are not found inland, but these are always situated on the ports. The storage of goods is necessary due to the following reasons. First, to maintain the stability in prices. If ever the demand of any product increases and the supply is short, it is but sure that the prices of that particular goods will rise. In order to prevent such a hike in the price, the stability remains due to adequate storage of products. Second one is to ensure the availability of goods throughout the year, so that supply does not dwindle. It is always supplied at an adequate pace. To ensure continuous availability of goods in the market, its proper storage is essential. Third is banking. Now just see the image. Banking or bank is a place where all the activities regarding finances are done. So a bank removes the hindrance of finance. Finance or capital is the lifeblood of any business. A large amount of money is required for the production, marketing of the goods and services. For all types of services to be provided, a very large amount of money is needed, and this is provided through banking sector. The finances can be raised from own sources, commercial banks, shares, debentures, financial institutions or trade creditors. Banking system provides the following services. It provides loans and advances. It is also having the overdraft facility. It allows to facilitate the discounting of bills. It provides foreign exchange. Foreign exchange means dollars. Just remember dollars. If any transaction is to be done outside the country to some other country, the international currencies are always well accepted. Such as if we are dealing with, you can say, with Canada, of the goods are to be sold to the country of Canada. If the price is paid in dollars, it is more acceptable rather than in Indian rupees. This is known as foreign exchange. Issuing letters of creditors, thus giving assistance to foreign trade. It also provides guarantee of foreign trade. Fourth is insurance. Everyone has a fear of risk, and insurance removes the hindrance of risk. What type of risks are generally vulnerable to goods? Such as fire, accidents, theft, storm. These are all natural disasters. Some of the commercial disasters may occur, such as changes in demand and supply conditions, dishonesty of employees and partners, strikes, lockouts, pilferages. These are some of the commercial risks. All the above mentioned risks are covered by insurance, undoubtedly. Companies provided the necessary insurance has been done and premiums have been regularly paid. For insurance, the companies have to submit a small amount that is known as premium. An insurance company performs a useful service by compensating the traders for the losses due to fire, theft, flood, or other natural calamities. Insurance is of following types: life insurance, fire insurance, marine insurance, or general insurance. Life insurance deals with the expiry of a person. It is dealing individually. Fire insurance, it deals with the payment equal to value of goods lost or damage suffered as a result of fire. Marine insurance, damage to the insured vessel, cargo or passengers during the transportation on seas. General insurance covers the risk of loss due to theft or specified happenings. It is a special type of insurance. Packaging. Now, why packaging is important? Because it removes the hindrance of spoilage. It removes the hindrance of spoilage. Just imagine the products without packaging. For example, you are visiting a pharmacy store, and if packaging is not into practice, you will ask a chemist for some paracetamol tablets, and he will just hand over to you the open tablets. It's neither appealing nor hygienic. Therefore, packaging removes the hindrance of spoilage. Packing refers to wrapping, crating, filling, and compression. Proper packaging is also essential due to, according to Drugs and Cosmetic Act of Rules 1945. These act and rules you will study in your subject of jurisprudence. It helps in identification of product if it is packed with a particular mark and design, easy identification. Proper packaging also avoids deterioration of product. It also ensures the supply of products on right quantity, right quality, weight to the consumer. Means right quantity, right quality and weight. Thus, it maintains the, or it assures the quality of the product. That is very important. It not only increases the demand but also establish the faith of customers in products. The last one is advertising and publicity. See the picture. Media is the main pillar. See, and what type of various advertising sources? Internet, television, newspapers, radio, magazines. Nowadays, internet is the most common way of advertising or publicizing any product. So, what is advertising? Advertising and publicity removes the hindrance of knowledge. It removes the hindrance of knowledge and provides the valuable information to the consumers. The main objective of advertisement is to create demand and to increase the sales. The various methods used for advertisement are TV, radio, newspapers, magazine, as I had already told you, and some of the other methods are just pamphlets, free samples, trade fairs, exhibitions, balloons, window displays. The majority of pharmaceutical products are ethical products. Now, what are ethical? This is an homework for you. Just identify the term ethical. What is ethical? And their direct advertisement is prohibited according to Drugs and Magic Remedies Act. However, general home remedies products such as pain balms, inhalers, antiseptic creams and other products which do not require a prescription for their purchase can be advertised by any of the direct method of advertisements. So students, it's enough for today's lecture. The next class we shall be dealing with the aspects of pharmaceutical management. The next class will be dealing with aspects of pharmaceutical management. For any queries, or if the topic is not clear or you need more detailed information, kindly message me or comment me in the comment box. So it's all for today. Best of luck. Learn and revise the concepts as they are essential for further studies.